Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Chinmayi Mataji.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय. श्रीला गुरुदेव की जय. हरे कृष्णा. All glories to all the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Chinmayi Vrajapriya Devi Dasi from Charlotte, welcoming each one of you to this mid-morning Bhakti Sangha Japa session group. Thank each one of you for attending today's session. And thank you, Revati Mataji, for that beautiful recitation. May I know who all have joined today's call so that we can greet you.
Hare Krishna, Chinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Anita Ramya from Georgia, UAE.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji, for all your services and welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All wishes for Prabhupada, Prabhupada, and all the devotees. Chinmayi Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Kamodaki Mataji. Please accept my respectful obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji, for joining and blessing each one of us in the call. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glory to Srila Prabhupada. This is Neetu from Baltimore.
Hare Krishna, Neetu Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji, for joining every day. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Chinmayi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Srila Prabhupada. This is Preeti Vilasini Devi Dasi from Atlanta.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Vilasini Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji, for all your services and welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Anybody else would like to introduce? I have a
Hare
couple.
Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
This is Revati from Atlanta, Mataji. Sorry, Mataji, it went on mute.
Sorry, Mataji. I spoke in between. Hare Krishna, Revati Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji, for a beautiful recitation of Bhagavad Gita most of the days. And welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Chinmayi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandarvika Devi Dasi from College Station, Texas. Hari Bol Revati Mataji. I really like what Chinmayi Mataji said. Most of the day she is only there.
That's very true. Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji, for all your services throughout the day and welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Chinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karna Devi Dasi from Lincoln.
Hare Krishna, Indulekha Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji, for all your services every day and welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Supriya Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all Vaishnava. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji, for joining every day. And welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Mataji, it's 11 o'clock. Shall we go ahead and read Srila Prabhupada's quote? Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today we are starting a new session where chapter-wise summary of Bhagavad Gita will be given. So Preeti Vilasini Mataji will give an introduction about what the series is actually about. But before I hand over the call to Mataji, I would like to read Srila Prabhupada's quote for today. The quote is, Krishna is ready to talk with you. He has come. He has descended in Archamurti to talk with you. Be visible to you. Now, you make yourself ready and fit to talk with Krishna. Then he will exchange conversation. That is possible. This was instructed by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada at Bombay on December 4th, 1974. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Hare Krishna, Preeti Vilasini Mataji, please give us an introduction about what the series is about.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you all so much for joining us and giving us your most valuable association. So today we are starting a Gita Marathon series. This entire December month, we'll be summarizing the different chapters of Bhagavad Gita. So we'll have a total of 19 sessions. I know there are 18 chapters, but then we'll have a total of 19 sessions because the 18th chapter will be divided into 2 parts. So in these 19 sessions, we are going to have our revered coordinators, organizers of Bhakti Sangha gift classes. They work year-round with a lot of, they put in a lot of effort, and we sent a sign-up sheet to the volunteers, and many of them have signed up. I know there are tons of volunteers who didn't get an opportunity to sign up because there were limited sessions for the series, but we'll make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to come forward and share their thoughts about Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, or Chaitanya Charitamrita in the coming days. So this month, the sign-up was complete really quick. We didn't expect that. And I know many volunteers have not received slots yet, but we will make sure that in future we have classes by all of you. So to honor our coordinators and also celebrate the advent of Bhagavad Gita, we have this very wonderful series. So I request everybody to join these classes and take full advantage of listening to the Bhagavad Gita. It's a lifetime opportunity to hear chapter-wise summaries. When we hear chapter-wise summaries, it makes us understand the scripture better. Of course, we go verse by verse as well. But these chapter summaries are always very helpful for us to understand the scripture as a whole. So request everyone to join consistently and encourage all our coordinators and volunteers. And they have been putting effort throughout the year. So this is a way for us to recognize their efforts and honor them. So thank you all so much for joining us. And Chinmay Mataji will give a brief introduction, and then we'll hand over the call to our today's speaker, who's Mitravinda Mataji, Mamtamayi Mataji. Chinmay Mataji, please take over.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today's speaker is Her Grace Mitravinda Mamtamayi Mataji, and Mataji will be giving a summary on chapter 1, Bhagavad Gita. So Mataji, as we all know, is a disciple of His Holiness Jaipatak Swami Guru Maharaj. Mataji lives in Charlotte, and she's one of the essential core workers of ISKCON of Charlotte congregation. Mataji renders a lot of services in the congregation. She has her own kids class. She has her own Bhakti Vriksha. And also she does lots of services, like she allots speakers for all the sessions, for all the events. And whether it be a small or a large event, Mataji is there coordinating prasadam, coordinating so many minute and big details. And she oversees most of the things which happen here. So very grateful to have your association, Mataji. Heard your classes many times in person. So today we'll hear you online. So please take over, Mitravinda Mamtamayi, Mataji.
And in Bhakti Sangha, she was also helping with a lot of youth classes with cooking, other projects.
Yes.
And she was also taking care of some announcements for a while in Facebook and others. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Please take over. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for kind words. And very grateful for the opportunity of this Shravanam and Kirtanam in this blissful month of Margashirsh to hear about Bhagavad Gita, to talk about Bhagavad Gita. And like Mataji said, just doing a summary each day helps us a lot. It, keeps us, connected to Krishna and his teachings, because at least for me, sometimes it's easy to forget. Not easy. It's very, not sometimes, it's always easy to forget. So with this, it's a nice meditation for me also to prepare and then present, and then for coming days, attend other sessions also. So thank you so much for Bhakti Sangha, Japa conference and all the volunteers for this, giving me a chance, and we'll get started here. Thank you, Chinmay Vrit Priya Mataji, for kind words again. We'll start with prayers. Everybody can sing along if you like, whatever way you want. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishna Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarine. Thank you so much. So, like we all know, we are going to do Bhagavad Gita. So, what is Bhagavad Gita? We all know Bhagavad Gita is a classic conversation between our Lord Shri Krishna and his devotee Arjuna. And this happened 5,000 years back on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, wherein family members had split in two parts. As cousins, they had split Pandavas and Kauravas, and they were standing against each other to fight the war, not to embrace each other. It was a fratricidal war. And Kauravas had 11 Akshohani, Sena, and Pandavas had only 7. And it was a war of dharma, dharma against adharma. And we see that in today's world, we are also going through the same. In our own heart, inside our own consciousness, we have this war of, good and bad going on constantly. Sometimes we might have some motivation to do good, right things in a right way, but there will be some otherwise, constantly irritating us to do wrong. So in that situation, Bhagavad Gita and its teachings comes to rescue. People say that Bhagavad Gita happened 5,000 years back. What is the relevance now? People have reached moon, dunya chand pe pahunch gayi, and you're still reading Bhagavad Gita. It's very outdated. But actually nothing has changed. Everything is same. Earlier, the situation which could have been between Pandavas and Kauravas, like I said, it's between in us, today, between good and bad. Like His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj always says that, there are two dogs inside us, good dog and bad dog. So we should know which dog we are feeding. So this way, Bhagavad Gita is our GPS. Like we have global positioning system. So we also have Bhagavad Gita as Goloka positioning system. Now what happens is in regular GPS, we have it in our phone, we have a separate, tool for that. We can easily put the address and then GPS will guide us and take us, show us the best shortcut ways. It will avoid the, routes that have had any car crashes or has more traffic. You can also avoid highways or ferries or, things like that, toll routes. But you have to put the address. GPS will not know where you are going. But Goloka positioning system or our Bhagavad Gita has the speciality of not only taking you to the destination, but also telling you the destination, that this is your destination. So that's why Bhagavad Gita is very special for all of us, and it is our life manual. Life manual because it has all the solutions for all the problems that we have. It covers 5 topics like Ishwar, Jeev, Prakriti, Kal, and Karma. And whatever questions we might have in our mind as to who am I, what is my duty, what am I supposed to do, how many gods are there, and what kind of charity should I do, or basically every subject, like 2 days back we were discussing, it has all the subjects of this world: history, geography, math, philosophy, nutrition, even anatomy. If you see 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is nothing but anatomy. So after becoming student of Bhagavad Gita, coming to the point of reading Bhagavad Gita, and slowly on this process we realize that whatever questions we have in our mind or our heart are answered after just becoming students of Bhagavad Gita. And it is applicable to all the people, all the souls that are there in this world. It's not that it is a religious book belonging only to Hindus or Muslims, or or it doesn't belong to Muslim or anyone, or it is only for Hindus. It is for everyone, because like Bhagavad Gita talks about soul and the transmigration of soul from one body to another. So all the human beings, all the living entities go through that, and it is applicable to everyone. It is sarvadesic and sarvakalik, because whatever situations were there 5,000 years back is same now. Soul hasn't changed. The characteristics of soul hasn't changed. Nothing has changed. Everything is same, and it will continue to be like that. So Bhagavad Gita will be there, our guidebook for generations to come, for lots of years to come. Okay. And Bhagavad Gita was given by Krishna, and it is meant for everybody, so that everybody can apply it in their life and work according to their like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, gun and karma, and make your life successful. So the exactly why the first chapter where it starts, Arjuna does not want to fight the war, but whole idea is that Arjuna should fight the war, because according to his gun and karma, based on varna and ashram, if he doesn't fight, then it is not going to be good for him. So with this, we are going to start our first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I will share the screen. You are able to see screen, Mataji? Everyone?
Yes, Mataji. Clear.
Okay. Yeah. So Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So before we read Bhagavad Gita, there are many, myths that come, and there are people, even if we ask somebody to read Bhagavad Gita, there are many myths associated with it. So we'll just try to clear a few here before we go ahead. And it is like, first one is, Bhagavad Gita has to be read only in old age. This is the most famous myth. In fact, people take Bhagavad Gita, keep it in their temple room, and just, do agarbatti and diya, which is okay. That can also be done. But reading, they don't do, thinking that it is for, old people in retired age. But it is a myth, because Bhagavad Gita was spoken to Arjuna, who wasn't old, who wasn't retired. And the very motivation of Bhagavad Gita is that he should work, he should fight. Again and again, Krishna says to Arjuna, Uttishta, Uttishta, like, get up and fight, do your duty. And like we discussed, that Bhagavad Gita is for Hindus only. But we know that Hindu word is also not a very correct word. And it is for everyone, applicable to all the human beings. Sarva Desik. And those who read Bhagavad Gita, another one says, should not marry and should leave everything, including family. Just by seeing some brahmacharis, they feel that whoever becomes devotee, they become brahmacharis, they leave their family. But again, we see here that Arjuna wasn't a brahmachari, he was a grahastha, right? So even if you are a grahastha, you can read Bhagavad Gita, and if you read Bhagavad Gita, you can still get married. Nothing like that, that you have to leave everything. And then again, Bhagavad Gita is only for Indians. This also we discussed, that it is for everybody on the planet Earth. In fact, not only planet Earth, the Bhagavad Gita teachings and Bhagavatam teachings are applicable to everybody, even the Devi Devtas in upper planetary system. They can also follow if they want. They do follow. And sometimes in the lower planetary system also, people who live there, they follow. We have example of so many demons like Bali Maharaj, who were born in demoniac family, but we see that they are also, following the teachings of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. And then now that we know that everybody can read Bhagavad Gita, why should we read Bhagavad Gita? Is the another question. Now Srila Prabhupada writes in the introduction towards end, he has very mercifully given us Gita Mahatmya. I have picked one shloka, which is my personal motivation. It says, Mala nirmochanam pumsam, jalasnanam dine dine, sakrat gita amritasnanam, samsara mala nashanam. One may cleanse himself daily by taking a bath in water, but if one takes a bath even once in the sacred Ganges water of Bhagavad Gita, for him the dirt of material life is altogether vanquished. Now what happens is that there are, Srila Prabhupada has explained so many times that there are two types of cleanliness, internal and external. External body can be cleansed by taking showers, soap, body scrubs, this, that, so many things. But there is some cleaning to be done inside also, because inside is the most dirtiest of place. We carry so many anarthas, lust, anger, greed, and jealousy. So it also needs cleansing. So that cleansing can be done by Ganges water of Bhagavad Gita. Now, Bhagavad Gita is compared to the Ganges water here. And for him, the dirt of material life will be vanquished. Now, Bhagwan Shri Krishna has very mercifully given us Amrita in the form of Kathamrita and Charnamrita. So Ganga is like one of the, Charnamritas of Lord, and which can be taken. But sometimes we might not have Ganga water available. We might have to go to Ganga. We might have to have faith. Sometimes people cheat also. We don't know, Ganga water that we get in Indian store is really Ganga water or what. So, but Bhagavad Gita, as it is, given by Srila Prabhupada, is the most authentic with his explanation. And if we read that Bhagavad Gita, we will definitely get rid of all the dust that we have accumulated, all the dirt that we have accumulated from lifetime in our heart, in our soul, and then we'll be freed from this contamination. So this is why it is such an urgent need to read Bhagavad Gita, because sometimes we have experienced, we might, in hurry, just get dressed up for early morning. Now at least after being devotees, coming to Krishna consciousness, we take bath first thing in the morning. But I remember earlier, sometimes if we had early morning appointments or something, we just went out, we would just, dry clean ourselves and go. But we would know, that something, we would not feel comfortable. We would know what is wrong, because outside appearance is good. We have applied some makeup, combed our heads, hair sprayed, body spray. But inside, we'll feel that we are dirty. So similarly, outside, no matter how much bath we take, how much we cleanse ourselves, but internal cleaning is also required. So this is the motivation to read Bhagavad Gita. Now, sometimes what happens that, people who are used to saying, living in dirt, they might not even realize that they are dirty. But once you start cleaning up, you realize that, yes, we were actually living in dirt. So once, we start cleaning ourselves inside, we'll realize that, yes, definitely there was so much dirt inside me, which needs, cleaning up. with that, we go to our next slide. So the focus, as we go on summarizing the chapter, the focus will be on these three topics, which is signs of victory, names of Krishna and Arjuna, and attitude of the characters. With this, we'll get started. So what I have done is I have, made different sections for each slide. Took some shlokas, and with the help of course, all our teachers and their books. So as we go, we'll summarize it. So first shloka, Dhritarashtra Vacha, Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre. It shows us the importance of the place, Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre, Sthanam Prabhavam. Now, what happened is, long back, Kuru ancestors had done a big yagna at that place known as Kurukshetra, and he got some benedictions from Lord Indra that whoever dies in that place in Yuddha Dharma or doing some yagna or doing the work of Dharma will go to heavenly planet. And here, when this place was chosen to fight the war of, between Pandavas and Kauravas, it was decided that, since it is a place of pilgrimage, Dharma will be established. And since Krishna is there, everybody will get, whatever destination they deserve. And everything will be all right. So this shloka, first shloka, talks, is spoken by Dhritarashtra, who is not a devotee. And in fact, out of 700 shlokas, this is the only shloka spoken by Dhritarashtra. And he's asking it to Sanjaya. And we can question here that why only Sanjaya? There could have been many people around him, and he could have asked this question to anybody. But why did he choose Sanjaya? He chose Sanjaya because of his blessing that he got from his Guru Vyasdev, that he will be able to see everything in his art. He'll be able to see the live telecast of whatever is happening on the battle of Kurukshetra. So here, the first shloka of Bhagavad Gita, even before Bhagavad Gita starts, is stressing on the importance of Guru. And if you see, last shloka also, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, is also stressing on the importance of Guru. So between these two shlokas, with the importance of Gurus, Bhagavad Gita is nicely, sandwiched between, this important factor, that Guru is the most important person in your life. And with his blessings, you can do anything. We have that shloka, right? Mukam karoti vachalam, pangum langhayate girim, yat kripatam aham vande, Shri Gurum Dina Tarinam. So with the help of Guru, a lame man can cross the mountains, a dumb person can speak, like that. So here, this shloka is very important. So it shows us Sthanam Prabhavam. Now we have a very interesting, pastime here from Padma Puran, which describes that how one time Lord Shiva went to see Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva, had, as usual, his snake around his neck, and Garuda, had, Vishnu was sitting on Garuda. So while they were talking, snake was like, full of energy. He thought, let me disturb Garuda. So, sometimes he's teasing him from there, from here, and, making faces and trying to touch him. And then Garuda was being very tolerant because, devotees, that's how devotees are. And then after some time, he said that, what you're doing is not right. You are taking advantage of the place that you are sitting on. You're sitting on Lord Shiva's neck, and you're taking advantage of that. And only because of that sthan, you are not being punished by me. Otherwise, I can eat 20 or 100 snakes like you in just a moment. And here you are bothering me so much. So, there, Garuda says that it is the sthanam prabhavam that is acting on you, and it's not your balam prabhavam. It is not your strength that, you are able to tease me like that, but it is the place that you are sitting. So here we see the importance of the place is described, and Srila Prabhupada explains in his purport that how, when in a rice, in the grain field, how the weeds are removed. So similarly here, in the place of dharma, all the weeds will be removed and dharma will be established. Now, going further, we see Duryodhana's diplomacy. from shloka number 2 to 11, we see that how his political side shows up. And he, before that, actually Sanjaya addresses Duryodhana as a king. Now we can understand one thing, that war hasn't started yet, and there is no decision made, who is going to be the king. But still Sanjaya is addressing Duryodhana as a king, because to show him that how expert he is in politics. He knows very well whom to approach, when to approach, what to talk, how to talk. So like, very expert in Rajaniti, because of which he is addressed as Raja. Now, one thing we can learn here is practical application, I would say, that like we were talking about Duryodhana's diplomacy, in our life situation also, it might happen that we might be in Duryodhana's situation. Like here, when he's approaching his guru Dronacharya, he's actually fearful, and it is said that even dog knows when he's doing right or wrong, because when you give him something to eat from your own hand, he will just eat right there in front of you. But if you give, if you just keep something on the table and go around, he will take it and run away and hide and eat. So even dog knows what is right, what is wrong. So he, being a human being, he not know? But sometimes we just try to believe that yes, sometimes we don't want to agree that we are doing right or wrong. And here he was very fearful, and that's why he was he approached Duryodhana, and he starts talking to Duryodhana approaches Dronacharya and he starts talking. And like I was saying, the practical application is that we might also be in such situation, and we must have been we must have also done things like trying to manipulate and with our diplomatic behavior, do things according to ourselves, or do talking which will give solace to us only. But how long that can continue? Because ultimately the fear from the heart can be removed, or we can get happiness only when we get shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. And we can continue with our diplomacy for as many number of times as we want, but it will not go to the core. It will not clear the problem. It will just clear the symptom, and it will just make us happy. Actually, it will not even clear the symptom. It will just make us happy. And here, when we read the shlokas, Duryodhana starts talking to Dronacharya about all the powerful warriors on the, fighters on the side of Pandavas. And then he just, clearly misses talking about Krishna. So here we see his attitude that sometimes, people like Duryodhana, who are demoniac, they just don't want to consider Krishna or Supreme Personality of Godhead. They just want to ignore his presence. And further, after, talking about warriors on other side, now then he realizes that he has to motivate, his side of people also. Then he starts talking about, warriors on his side. And before doing that, he had also tried to, make Dronacharya very angry by saying Drupad Putrena, because there was there's a history, right, that how Dronacharya and King Drupad, had some, enmity because of their childhood association. And then how Drishtadumna was born, and how he was sent to Dronacharya to study, right? And Dronacharya, being a great Brahmana, he did not deny teaching him. So it shows his great character also, in a way that being a Brahmana, he did not discriminate. And it is said in our Shastras that, Brahmanas are like sun, like they never discriminate. They give sunlight equally to everyone, whether it is rich person, poor person, somebody could be very pious, somebody could be very, bad, miscreant, but they do not discriminate. So here he thought that, he always had soft corner for them. So here, it could be possible that he might get little lenient and, let them have their way in the war, and then maybe we will lose. So this is, why we were talking that, his diplomatic behavior in trying to instigate anger in the heart of Dronacharya. And then further, he does the same thing to Bhishma Pitama, that how he was telling his other soldiers that, you should all give support to Bhishma Pitama because now he's old, and if he's engaged at one side, other party can come and easily hurt him or, kill him from the other side. So again, he's hinting Bhishma Pitama also that please, you don't get lenient. Although he was very confident because when Draupadi was dishonored, so that time Bhishma Pitama had kept quiet. So he thought, okay, maybe that time they kept quiet. So this time also, they will all keep quiet. But we all know great character of Bhishma Pitama also, that how he kept quiet only to be instrument in Krishna's plan to establish dharma. Because if he had spoken then all this wouldn't have happened. And like Krishna says again in Bhagavad Gita in 4th chapter, dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So it was Krishna's purpose to establish dharma. So he cooperated in the plan of Krishna. So here we see Bhishma Pitama, Duryodhan, and Dronacharya. Now what happens is after he speaks to Dronacharya further, next slide. Yeah. And is the entry of our hero, Sri Krishna. Then what happens, when Bhishma hears, the so-called motivation speak by Duryodhan, then he knew, he knows his heart that how, evil he is. And just to give him, joy, he blows his conch shell. And, Shloka mentions that, it gives Duryodhana joy, when he blows his conch shell. And then Lord Krishna comes, Arjuna comes, they also blow their conch shell. Panchajanya Rishikesha, Deva Dattam Dhananjaya, Poundram Dadho Mahashankam, Bhima Karma Vrakodara. Everybody blows their conch shells. And the war is just about to start. So one thing very interesting here is that being, a Bollywood fan long back, and even now some impressions of the movies, we see that whenever there is, entry of a hero in the movie, if it is a historical based movie, the hero will be coming on white horse or, big chariot, as a king. Of course, here Arjuna is also a hero, but Krishna is our ultimate hero. So, but here we see that he comes, as a chariot driver, and it does not matter to him, that's the entry. And they also blow conch shells. But the effect, of the blowing of conch shell is that when, Bhishma and all other people on their side blow the conch shell, nothing happens to, Pandava's party. But when Lord Krishna, Arjuna, Nakul, Sahadev, Yudhishthir Maharaj, everybody, they blow their conch shells, Srila Prabhupada explains the sound shattered the sound shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. So we see one more point that when it is mentioned, the conch shell of Bhishma and other people here, they don't have names. But, for Krishna and his devotees, like, for us, everything is so personal that even the conch shells of Krishna and Arjuna and all the other devotees, they have names. And when they blow conch shell, it shatters the heart of their, enemies. And although, Shankha, Srila Prabhupada and many of our devotees explain, and Shankha is like a dead, animal's bone, but still it is bona fide. And further, it is also explained that usually, see, when we do our Aarti, Mangal Aarti, Gaur Aarti, Rajbhog Aarti, we also start by blowing conch shell and end by blowing the conch shell. So here, for Kshatriyas, when they are blowing the conch shell, and especially Arjuna, Bhishma, when they are blowing the conch shell, it is like a worship for them. And again, one more thing, which comes in this section is that the drums are played, kettle drums, every kind of musical instruments are played as if it is a musical concert. But Srila Prabhupada again explains that for Kshatriyas, it is a great honor and it's like a celebration. It's like a festival for them. So they celebrate. Otherwise, when they know that it is a war and, only somebody will survive, somebody will be winner, they wouldn't be doing this, blowing of conch shell, beating of kettle drums, buggles, like that. So here we see the Kshatriya spirit, whether they are going to live or they are going to die, but they are doing it as a celebration. Okay. So next what happens is, here we'll discuss the signs of victory. Arjuna tells Lord to take him between the two armies. So conch shells are blown, war can start any moment, but Arjuna tells Krishna that please bring my chariot between the two armies, and he addresses him by the name Achyuta. Now, Achyuta means infallible one, as per like Srila Prabhupada is giving in translation. So somebody might think that maybe if he was a driver, he became like that, low level, but it is not like that. That happens in material world. If somebody is a driver, then he is considered very low. But nowadays, actually, we see that even Uber drivers are not all they want equal respect, and we also give them equal respect. So what to speak of Bhagwan? How can he fall down? But that is also very true that none of us also, at least I would not like to take up a job of anybody's driver. But in spirituality, Krishna, by his personal example, he's teaching that he likes to serve his devotees, and we should also follow in his footsteps and serve devotees in all the possible capacities. And there is another point which is mentioned here is the chariot bearing the flag marked with Hanuman. Now, Srila Prabhupada explains that this is the sign of victory. How? Because one time when Pandavas were in exile, Draupadi saw a very beautiful lotus, 1,000-petaled lotus. So we can imagine how beautiful it is. And then she got one, and there was just one, flowing down Alaknanda river. And she takes and she gives it to Bhima, and she says that I have a desire that I want to give more to Yudhishthir Maharaj. Why don't you, go follow the path from where the river is flowing and go and bring me more? Then Bhima said, okay, I will, do it for you. And then Bhima starts for his mission. And while he's going, on the way, he's uprooting the trees. Mahabharata very beautifully describes, like Srila Prabhupada says, he's a performer of Herculean tasks. So there also, he started exhibiting, uprooting the trees, making the path clear, running up, the stream of river to find where is the lotus coming from. And as he goes, he sees, there's a very old monkey, lying on the way. And then he very respectfully tells him that, can you move aside? Then monkey says, I cannot move. If you can, you just move my tail and then go and do your job. And then it is described that how strong Bhima was, but he tries to move his tail, but he couldn't. Then after some time, he becomes humble and he says, please, can you introduce who you are? And then they both, of course, Hanuman knows, they both realize that they are, brothers, and they are both Pavan Putra, and, they embrace each other. And Bhima, gives him pranam like that. And then further, after talking for a while, Hanuman, Bhima tells to Hanuman that you so nicely cooperated with Lord Rama, to help, bring Sita back and defeat Ravan. Can you please help us also? Then Hanuman says that, see, look at my body. I'm from Treta Yuga. I'm so big. If required, I can become small also, but I'm so big. I can become even more big. And if I'm there in the war, I'm alone, to wipe out everyone at just one go. But this is not my service. This is your service. You do it. But if required, I will sit on the chariot on the flag of Arjuna, and whenever the chariot is going towards the enemies, when they roar, I will also roar along with them, and will kind of scare all the sons of Dhritarashtra. With that agreement, Hanuman agrees to come and sit on the flag. And then it says that the flag is marked with Hanuman, but actually Hanuman was himself sitting there. So this is the sign of victory. Srila Prabhupada says that because Hanuman had helped Rama and they were victorious, so here when he is there, it indicates that they will be also victorious. Another thing here is the chariot. So another story in Mahabharata that how Agni Dev was pleased, and he gave a chariot to Arjuna as a gift, which signifies again, because fire also consumes without any discrimination. That is one quality of fire. So wherever that chariot will go, it will consume. So they will be victorious. So these are the signs of victory. Even before Bhagavad Gita starts, we are getting to know that who is going to be the winner. And here, now this is continuation of last slide. Now Lord Krishna brings him between the two armies and let him see all Kurus who assembled to fight. Now it is mentioned that the distance between both the army was 2 kilometers here and 2 kilometers here, and everybody kept wondering what they are talking. But yeah, so coming back to the point here, Krishna addresses Arjuna as, O Partha, behold, all at the army who have come in, this place to fight with you. So here, like I was saying, we are going to discuss, names. Now there is a very beautiful, love exchange, rasa going on here. Like we know in 10th chapter also, 11th chapter also, actually we'll read that Arjuna says, thinking you as a friend, I have addressed you as Madhava, Keshava, like that. So they are friends, and Arjuna is also taking liberty to address Krishna as with any name, and Krishna also as a friend or as a Bhagwan is taking liberty to address Arjuna as with any name, and to not any name but to hint with that name. So when he calls him here Partha, he is kind of hinting him towards the relationship that he's having with him, in terms of Pritha, Kunti Maharani, that I'm your chariot driver only because you are my bua's son, like my aunt's son. And he is reminding of her great heritage, her great kshatriya qualities herself, that how she's a great person, and you are her son, and I'm being your chariot driver just because of her. And now you are asking me to bring the chariot here, and because Krishna knows what he's going to talk, right? So he's hinting him, he's trying to remind him that don't forget where you come from, where you belong. Okay, going further. Now here Arjuna starts giving reasons to fight. So here he says, from shloka 28 to 38, he describes his compassion. Like this is the first reason that he gives for not fighting the war, which is very true, because again Srila Prabhupada also explains that how devotee, his being compassionate to all the army on his side and other side is the only qualification, or is the only reason that he was told Bhagavad Gita by Krishna. So we definitely need to have that quality of compassion. But here when Arjuna is talking, his compassion is on the bodily level, and that we know that in further chapters Krishna is going to bring him out of that illusion also. Now again, one point we missed is that Arjuna definitely is a devotee, and he's definitely going to do what Krishna says. But here when he gets into illusion is also a plan of Krishna, so that through his medium we all get to read Bhagavad Gita. So it's not that Arjuna really got into illusion, but he was by Krishna's internal potency put into illusion, so that you all get to read Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so here we see that how he gives the reason of compassion. Now sometimes what happens is that war is definitely required. So sometimes the pill might work, when we are sick, pill might work, but sometimes if we miss taking pill also and symptoms get severe, then if it's a big disease, then doctor might have to do surgery. So here, even though Arjuna is showing compassion, but Krishna will still tell him to fight, because that compassion is on bodily level, and those people definitely need that treatment of surgical operation, like that. And then further he keeps talking that he did not see any good coming from killing his own kinsmen. He did not desire victory or any kingdom or happiness. So this is the second reason. But like we all know, we read in Bhagavatam that shloka, Ata Pumbir Dujashrestha Varnashram Vibhagashaha Swanutishthaya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. So even if he fights war, he might get victory, he might get kingdom, he might get happiness, but that is not the end of everything. The very reason that we do any work or work or any, like here in the case of Arjuna, fighting war is for pleasing Hari, Samsiddhir Hari Toshanam. So he does not know yet that even if he doesn't get happiness, is still okay, because happiness is anyways not for him, to enjoy everything, but that happiness is to directly give it to Krishna. Then of course, we as devotees, we get happy when Krishna is happy, and we get sad when Krishna is sad. So that way. And then another thing he says is that I won't be able to enjoy the kingdom. Sorry. Yeah. He'll be able to share his opulence after victory. Now we have all also experienced, if we get a new house, we just want to call everybody, to have a nice housewarming. We want to feast, give them a nice feast. And sometimes, when we expect, we are expecting baby, we want to give announcement to everybody. We want to tell everybody that we are going to have baby. Even if we buy a new car or, something, even a new sofa at home, something we want to share with everyone. So here Arjuna is also, concerned that how will I share my happiness with everyone, because ultimately if all of them die, whom am I going to call home, call to my palace, call to my home, whom will I share my opulence with, right? And then indirectly or directly, Arjuna, by calling him Govinda, Madhusudana, Janardana, he's addressing that you kill them personally, I'm not going to kill them. How? Because Govinda means one who gives pleasure to the senses. So he's saying that you give pleasure to my senses, you make me happy by killing all of them. So although the meaning of Govinda is, one who gives pleasure to the senses, but we as servants of Krishna, we also get happiness, but only through Krishna. Not, that we take happiness and then, pass it on to Krishna. It comes other way, not this way. So the example is that when a driver is sitting in the car, the car could be some high-end car, and driver is driving, the owner is sitting behind and he's instructing him, take me to the town, or take me to this store, or wherever. So while they're driving, now although the car belongs to the owner and person is only driving the car, but he's also enjoying of sitting in that high-end car. And when the owner says, can you switch on the AC, he will switch on the AC, he will also get nice cool air. It's not that the owner is going to say, I'm going to switch on the AC, but you wear a nice thick coat so that you don't get the cool air. It's not like that. And then again, when he says, okay, I want to listen to some music, he will not say that you cover your ears, the music is only for me. So that way, when we serve Lord, we also get happiness. But it is this way, like we serve Krishna and then we get, it's not that we get, of course we get happiness, so Krishna also gets happiness. But at a higher principle, first we have to serve, we have to think about ourselves, that we as servants, we have to serve Lord. And then he addresses him as Madhusudana. Madhusudana, he indicates that, see, you are asking me to kill them, but you are Madhusudana, you have killed just demons. And look at these people, they are my relatives. Killing demons who are miscreants versus my relatives, who are miscreants, but I am attached to them. So I don't want to kill them. Madhusudana, you kill them, right? And then further he says Janardana. And our Acharya has very nicely explained that Janardan has two meanings. Jan and Ardan means people, and Ardan also means protect, and Ardan also means to annihilate. So here he is telling that you are Janardan, maintainer of people, and you are asking me to kill people. You shouldn't be doing that. And if you are Janardan, one who annihilates people, then you should be doing it. Why are you asking me to do your job? So here we see that he gives another second reason of happiness by very nicely calling Krishna by various names. And then going further, third reason he gives is sin. Sin will overcome us if we kill such aggressors. Now what is happening here is that Arjuna is stuck between two principles. One is Kul Dharma, to protect our people, and another is Kshatriya Dharma, to protect citizens by punishing the aggressors. And the problem for Arjuna is that now his own family members have become aggressors. And Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that how Duryodhana and all his brothers and all people on his side were actually, aggressors. They had done, all those 6 things, which Arth Shastra says that if anybody does these things, they should be immediately killed, which is giving poison, setting fire to somebody's house, attacking with deadly weapon, plunderer of riches, occupies another land, one who kidnaps wife. And we see that they had done all these things. So here we see that Arjuna is definitely quoting higher Shastra, which is Dharma Shastra, that forgiveness is the highest principle. But in his case, he's little confused because, his own people are his aggressors. So again, one lesson we get here is that he is definitely very learned. He knows Dharma Shastra, Artha Shastra very nicely. But who is the giver of those Shastras? Krishna says, right, in 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that, from me comes all the Vedas and I'm to be realized from all the Vedas, 15th shloka. So here, when the, rule maker is telling you to break the rules, then there shouldn't be any hesitation for, breaking those rules. So here we get one point that Lord is the ultimate um, authority. And then a fourth reason he gives is that on the death of the elder members in the family, traditions of purification may stop, and the remaining younger family members may develop irreligious habits and therefore lose chance for spiritual elevation. Now, again, if you see in today's setup, now this was back, 5,000 years back, even till 50,000 years back, or maybe, 30, 40 years back, also this setup was there, of elders guiding the youngsters. But we see that nowadays the society has come down to a nuclear family size. Hum do, hamare do, and hardly any respect is there for elders. We have also come here, from India. We are living here in USA, so we don't have so much association with our elders also. And with busy lives running after so-called American dream, we could also be caught in situation. Although our elders are there, but how much association we are getting, how much are we learning from them? So the application here is that although this point is valid, but for us, we can make our lives perfect by making devotees our elders, by learning from them, from senior devotees. That way we will get chance for spiritual elevation and spiritual salvation. And then further, of course, Arjuna gives hierarchy of how it happens. When irreligion is prominent in the family, the women of the family become polluted, right? And when degradation of women comes, unwanted progeny, Varshnaya. And then he addresses here him as Varshnaya, because earlier Krishna had called him Partha. So here he's calling him Varshnaya, because he's hinting him that, will you kill your family members, Vrishni dynasty? If you cannot kill them, how are you asking me to kill my family members? So still now, he's still, fourth reason, very strongly, he's trying to put his arguments to Krishna that, Varshnaya, will you kill your family members? So like I was saying, they are friends. They're having a very nice, loving exchange going on here. And then further, definitely he explains that an increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life for both the family and for those who destroy the family tradition, right? And the performance of offering food and water to forefathers and sisters of such corrupt families and are entirely stopped. Therefore, those forefathers fall down from the heaven. Now, this is also true. But again, we see that with bhakti, but devotional service, Srila Prabhupada explained, with one stroke, all the forefathers are also delivered. We read that in Prahlad Maharaj chapter, right? In the end, where Nrsimhadev says that although your father was not a good person, but with your devotion, all the 21 generations have been released. So here we can see that we could be doing Shraddh. Again, we don't know right method of doing Shraddh. People nowadays are doing according to their own whims and fancies and mental concoctions, giving meat and liquor because their ancestors liked. So they think that, oh, we have to give it to them, so they'll be happy. But that is not the right way. Giving prasadam is the right way. So definitely it is there. But for us devotees, by doing bhakti, everything else is taken care. But still, if anybody wants to do Shraddh, they can go ahead and do it. Nothing wrong in that, because Shraddh is like a special birthday ceremony. Like just to explain it, like every day we treat our kids to nice food, nice comfort, this that. But on their birthday also we do something extra. So if you want, you can do it. But if not, that is also fine. But if we do that to our ancestors, like if you bring that comparison on only on the birthday, we treat our kids to nice treats, like nice clothes, nice birthday party, nice food, nice whatever. And on every day we just neglect them. That is also not good. So similarly, like if you only on Shraddha day you do something for your ancestors, and every day else you just ignore your spiritual life also, then that is also not good. So by doing bhakti, everything else is taken care. Otherwise, Srila Prabhupada definitely, explains in purport that there are, we are indebted to so many people, Devi, Devtas, ancestors, gurus. So how are we going to get, rid of all the, uh, that we have to give them. So that's not possible, but bhakti is the only answer. And then he says, by the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all the kinds of community project and family welfare activities are stopped. Makes sense. And here again, Arjuna, concludes his, final decision by saying that he has been taught from disciplic succession. Now here again, he's talking about, that yes, he knows that what he's talking because he has heard from his superiors, his teachers. Here again, we get the hint that yes, hearing from disciplic succession is very important. And then he says that he's very sad thinking that he and his army are preparing to commit sinful acts to enjoy royal happiness and kingdom by killing their own kinsmen. And then further he says, at last he tells that even if he's attacked by an enemy if unarmed and unwilling position, he would not fight. But if we go in Mahabharata again and we see that being Kshatriyas, there have been many times, when they were challenged and they did not like it. If you take the example of Bhima, just after he met Hanuman, he further went, to find the flower, and he reached the garden of Kuvera, and there are yakshas and rakshasas were angry at Bhima that, why you did not ask us, take permission before coming into our garden and taking lotuses. Then Bhima was like, I'm Kshatriya. We don't, go and ask permissions. We just take it. So that way we see that this point again is not valid, because he being Kshatriya, he would have, readily, happily given up everything. But his nature, would have come up again, and there would be mess. So that's why Varna Ashram is very important. Nowadays we see that everybody, is running after money. Many people are getting, very high paid jobs also. They are at very good positions, but they are not happy. Why? Because they are not doing their work according to their gunas. When Krishna created Varnashram, that was the only purpose, so that everybody stays happy by doing their work according to their gunas. That is very important. Satisfaction is very important, right? So that way we see that that is also not going to work. And then further, and it is said, Sanjaya says, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrow and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. Now, in the purport, and we know that this bow, which is Gandiva bow, and Srila Prabhupada and our acharyas explain that this bow was very important and, special for him. And if he has kept aside that bow, which is Gandiva, it really means a big thing. We can imagine his condition. Now, there is a, very nice pastime again, further only in Mahabharata, after this war, that Arjuna had actually vowed earlier that Gandiva is so dear to me that I will never put it down. And if anybody asks me to give it up, I'm going to kill that person. So, further when, Karna injures Yudhishthir Maharaj, and, they are having conversation. So Yudhishthir Maharaj gets angry at Arjuna and says that you put aside your Gandiva. So Arjuna gets very angry and he says, I have to kill you because I had taken a vow. If anybody will ask me to kill, put aside my Gandiva, I'm going to kill him. So I am going to kill you. Then Krishna comes and he says that, okay, stop. If you really want to kill him, for a Kshatriya, from actual death, talking mean words to him is more bad. So why don't you talk mean words to him? It will be like a death only to him. And also he's your elder. So if you want to die without dying also, you say bad things to your elders, and it's as good as dying for you. So Arjuna does that, and he's, says bad words to Yudhishthir, that you went to the gambling match, you lost our wife and all of our brothers, and this, that. He says so many things. Then Arjuna feels happy that, okay, I did not kill him. But then he feels bad because he insulted his elder brother. So then he says, now I'll kill myself, because, talking back to our elders is also a very wrong thing. Now I will kill myself. Then Krishna says, no, now don't do that. There is another way to kill yourself without killing after you have done something wrong, is by talking good about yourself in front of your elders. So then he says that you start bragging about yourself. And then he starts bragging that, I'm the one who is going to kill all the, Kauravas. I did this. I went and got all the weapons and everything. And then he says, oh, now I'm feeling very miserable. Then Krishna says, yeah, here you go. See, your task is done. You killed him also, you killed yourself also, and you both are still alive. So that, I spoke about this because we can see that the importance of the bow, Gandiva, and here when he sets it aside, casts it aside, we can understand that how sad he must have been. Because at my personal level, I feel that sometimes, we read Bhagavad Gita, we try to imagine situations, but it is very tough, to actually understand what Arjuna is going through. And I pray to Krishna that I never come in that situation, because I know I'm going to fail only. But, we can imagine, that what must have been Arjuna's situation. And actually, here also, when it is said that women will be, polluted. So I was just, when I was making the slides, I remembered, when I was growing up in college, I read this novel by Jeffrey Archer, Cain and Abel. So at that time, being very young, not much experience of outside world, it had a, description of soldiers, raping hero's sister, Florentina. And it was so bad. And then I remembered that. And then I realized that, yes, what does Arjuna mean here? That the women of the family become polluted. And we have seen it in our history, every time. Not long back here now in Hindustan-Pakistan war also, when, partition happened, many women were dishonored, they were raped, and many, such mean things happened to them. So we can imagine that, yes, the things that Arjuna is talking is definitely makes sense. And it's very difficult to be in that situation. And that's why he qualifies to hear Bhagavad Gita, because he's soft-hearted, right? So with that, Srila Prabhupada ends the purpose of Bhagavad Gita saying that he is the qualified person. Now what happens is that even after talking so much, he will still give, in second chapter, he will still give the reason that I am not able to decide. So there are another, few more practical applications or lessons here. Now we see that Arjuna has spoken about that, we'll be going to hell, we'll have hellish life, like that. So which clearly shows us that Arjuna knows about afterlife. He knows about hell, heaven, good, bad, he knows. But still, that means he knows about soul. He's not absolutely at the bodily level, he knows. But still, when Krishna starts talking about Bhagavad Gita, the very first topic that he talks is about soul, the characteristics of soul. Because here the Arjuna's confusion is, he's thinking that soul is just a part, which survives after bodily death. But what Krishna is trying to tell him, that it is the essence of everything. It is the essence of identity. The very essence of soul is soul, not that, body was there or something like that. So that's why Krishna starts talking about soul from the very first, topic when he starts talking Bhagavad Gita. Then another thing is association. Now we see that when we read first chapter, it is mentioned that, many great, chariot fighters were there. Many names are being discussed. And then if you go into their history, I couldn't complete here, include that here because of time constraint. But if you go in their history, then we'll see that they all were really very great people. But what happened, due to their association, they all were annihilated, right? Now, if for that matter, if you just talk about Karna was also a very great person. Nowadays, there are many serials being made about him. People have soft corner for him, but his association mattered a lot, right? He chose the wrong side and he was also annihilated. So for us also to apply it in our life, that reading, reading Bhagavad Gita is okay, but then we have to have practical application, to be in devotee association all the time. Because sometimes, we kind of take devotee association for granted and take it as the side business, that okay, once in a week chale gaye, like that. But we have to have them, giving us shelter all the time. And that can happen only when we go in their shelter. And very interesting thing, we all also, or in general, people also give the same 5 reasons for not doing bhakti. That Arjuna gave 5 reasons for not fighting the war are the same reasons that we give for not doing bhakti. Like compassion. Sometimes people feel bad that what will happen to my family members, they will not like it, my husband doesn't like it, my wife doesn't like it, we have to comply with kids, they don't like it, and then happiness. And then they also know actually that by coming to bhakti vriksha, or going to programs, we might not be able to have drinks, or of course devotees don't do it, people who have become devotees, they don't do it out of force, but it just happens. It's a natural state, it just comes after being in devotee association. But in initial stages, people give the same reason that sab band ho jayega, we won't be able to go parties, and then destruction of family tradition. Like I gave this reason, so I like it. So my mataji from Boston, she used to tell me that I used to do this Sunday diya for my ancestors. She used to tell me to continue doing it, but first give it to Krishna and then give it to them. But I said no, our family, we have been doing it for so long. Jathere, we call it Jathere, I cannot give it up, it will destroy my family tradition. So same reason for not doing bhakti. And then sinful reaction again. Arey bachcho ko bhi to dekhna hai, we have to look at our family members, they are our first duty, paap lagega. Same. And then again, when nothing of this works, then we say confused, who knows what is right, what is wrong, right? So same reasons, 5 reasons, if you see now, we give for not doing bhakti. And then another is material strength uh, does not make you qualified, but presence of Krishna does. So like in the start, how we discussed that Kauravas had 11 Akshavini Sena, but Pandavas had 7, just to show us that number of strength or number of your qualification does not matter, but presence of Krishna does. So we are all like zeros, and when Krishna comes like a 1 in front of all those zeros, our value increases. And next is shelter of Lord and Guru is very important, right? So we discussed how first shloka is asked to Sanjaya just to show us the importance of Guru. Because Sanjaya had the blessings of his Guru, he was able to see everything and describe it to Dhritarashtra. And again, no matter how many shastras you quote, Dharma Shastra, Niti Shastra, Artha Shastra, but you will be confused only. Like we see in the case of Arjuna, he gave so many references, like he not really gave references, but we know by his talking that what Shastra, he's referring to, by his quality. By its quality. And then we see that even after being so learned, until and unless he took shelter of Lord, he was confused. And only by taking Divya Gyan and all the Guhya Gyan from Krishna, in the end he was satisfied and he agreed to do everything as per Lord's will. Okay, so with this we end our presentation. Going back, I will quickly summarize what all we did. We discussed signs of victory, names of Krishna and Arjuna, and attitude of all the characters, right? Actually, one now this reminds me, attitude of characters. So here, when Dhritarashtra says, what did my sons and sons of Pandu do? Here, it is very nicely explained that, Mamaka Pandava, like mine and his. And again, there is a nice shloka. I think I forgot to put it in here. I can show it in the Veda base. Very nicely, when Arjuna addresses other side, he says, my father-in-laws, uncles, chacha, mama, like that, he addresses them. So another thing we get to know here is that the culture which was prevalent at that time, and how Arjuna considered everybody his own. Like Arjuna could see within, okay, here, in the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all the chieftains of the world, the Lord said, just behold Partha, all the Kurus assembled here. There Arjuna could see within the midst of the armies of both parties his fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandson, friends, and also his father-in-laws and well-wishers. Right? He wanted to see the other party, right? See, he says, let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. And then he sees all of them, and then he starts talking. So here we see is that all the relatives that he says, father, grandfathers, some could be common, for Arjuna also. But not all the father-in-laws. He had maybe 4 father-in-laws, but they were on his side. but he is considering other, sides, people also, his well-wishers, his father-in-laws, his friends, grandsons, sons, brother, all the relationships is counting. Why? Because he was from a great family. He had a great culture where he considered Vasudevam Kutumbakam, that everybody in the family is, together one. My cousin's uncle is also mine. My cousin's mother is also mine mother, like that. And whereas here, Dhritarashtra is stuck between your and mine. So basically, when Srila Prabhupada gave us Bhagavad Gita purports, it is so nice that if we read one shloka and one purport of Bhagavad Gita and understand it properly and apply it in our lives, that's it. Our life will be successful. But of course, we are not able to do it, or, we definitely have to read all the purports. But if we apply any one of it in our life is perfect. So here there's a, very strong contrast of I and mine, and then considering everybody as his own. And then we saw Duryodhana's diplomacy, and then entry of Krishna, blowing off conch shell and their effect, signs of victory, and then how, chariot is brought between both the armies, and then reasons of not fighting, which is compassion, happiness, destruction of family tradition, sinful reaction, and confusion will be taken in next chapter, but I just included it here so that, to give a lesson that no matter how much we know, we still will be confused until we take shelter of Guru and Krishna. Thank you so much, everyone, Matajis, for so much patience and this opportunity. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha, kripa sindhubhya evacha, patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha, anant koti vaishnavrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Mataji.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Beautiful, beautiful class. Beautiful flow. And I really loved how you started with the introduction of Bhagavad Gita, all the 5 components which Prabhupada deals with. You mentioned them, and then you went to the facts and myth. And the way you were flowing through the first chapter, never knew where it ended. It was beautiful, Mataji. All the reasons of Arjuna not fighting, and you were relating it with our current situation so that this is how we have to apply Bhagavad Gita. A very beautiful class, Mataji. Really, really liked it. And thank you so much. I know how you were preparing. So yes, thank you for all the hard work you did, Mataji. It was a beautiful class.
Thank you, Mataji. All inspiration of all devotees. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, very, very nice. Nicely you have explained, put everything nicely organized and put together, and gave us the
Thank you,
light.
Mataji.
Gave us the light. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Learning from you.
You showed us the video through your mouth. You showed us the whole Bhagavad Gita. Thank you, superb, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I'm so inspired by you, Prabhuji, always. I'm your secret follower. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. What a brilliant start, Mataji, to the Bhagavad Gita session. It was so amazing. Your slides were beautiful. And also the way you related the whole summary of the first chapter. It was just so amazing, Mataji. Thank you. You have set the standards very high now. I need to learn from you. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Mata. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Very true, Sukha Mataji. The standards have been set very high now. Yes, Mataji.
No, Mataji, you all are just very kind. Thank you so much. I'm so happy, I could meditate on Bhagavad Gita, and yeah. And first chapter is especially my favorite. For so long, I kept looking at Google Sheet, and then I asked Preeti Vilasini Mataji, I'm not very active also now, so can I just take this chapter? She was like, okay. And I was like, oh, wow, I got my favorite chapter. Thank you, Krishna. I can see some raised hands, Bhakti Sangha, and then Vinita Mataji, Anita Mataji.
Mataji, you should give more classes, Mata, regularly.
Thank you, Mataji. Your mercy. Hari Bol.
Anita Mataji, do you want to go ahead?
Hare Krishna. So, very nice class, Mataji. It was like a river flow from the start to end. didn't pause anywhere, and it was very lively class, Mataji. Thank you so much for that. And I like the point initially you told about Bhagavad Gita is GPS, like how the GPS we use here. So same way the Bhagavad Gita is the GPS for us. Thank you, Mataji, for a nice, wonderful class. Yeah, as Mataji is told that you have set the position in a very high standard. So we should also think how to go further on this series. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Preeti Vilasani Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mitravinda Mamtamayi Mataji. As everyone said, it was a brilliant start and it was a beautiful flow. I love the way you related many things to current circumstances and you had practical applications at correct intervals. So the entire class was very nice, very nicely woven together. A lot of research work. I see so much hard work in this class. So thank you so much for filling our very first session with so much nectar. And yes, as everyone has said, now the standards have been raised to a very high platform. So we are looking forward to the rest of the classes also, following in these same lines. Thank you so much, Mitravinda Mataji. Very grateful for your association and thanks for signing up for the first chapter. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Your teacher training course has helped me a lot. You have
Yes,
taught
I
us.
know. You know? No, Mataji, but really it was beautiful. The class was extremely nice. Extremely nice.
Yes, Mataji. And now I remember that story. Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Mataji, would anybody like to add anything? I'm sure, in 1 hour, definitely we can't cover much, but there could be much more, which I must have missed. Vinita Mataji, Vanishri Mataji, anyone would like to say anything?
Hare Krishna, Mitravinda Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for such a nectarian class. The flow was very good, and especially how you started why we should read Bhagavad Gita, and is it only for the old age or it's only for this person or that person. Religion, you catched up on religion too, is only for particular religion or everyone. And you went on explaining the glories of Bhagavad Gita, how is it useful, and even though it is given in 5,000 years back, how it is related to us right now. Thank you so much for bringing all those points to make sure that we know what is the glory of Bhagavad Gita. And then you brought in first chapter, and the way you highlighted each slide and put on the lessons for each slide and the pictures that you put on the slides. Very nice, Mataji. So beautiful class. I really like the point that you talk about Guru, how the Guru's role is very, very important for us in our bhakti. And also Srila Prabhupada's one purport is enough for us to go back to Krishna, but the thing is, I'm not able to apply it. Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you,
Such a
Mataji.
sweet class, nectarian class, wonderful,
Thank you for
Mataji.
inspiration, Mataji.
Hari bol, very, very beautiful class.
I'm like a little child playing, with toys. You all are doing real work of cooking and, driving the car. I'm like little child, playing, cooking with my kitchen, little toy utensils and driving my toy car. So thank you all so much.
Very beautiful class, Mataji. So nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Vinita Mataji. Vanishri Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranams. Just beautiful. For me as a person, I never thought first chapter Bhagavad Gita has so many takeaways. Honestly, I think already the devotees have given so many points raised by your presentation. Couple of things that I felt was beautiful. The names gave so much of takeaways for me. B is that the character and attitude of the characters that you brought in, fantastic, Mataji, fantastic. I think now I need to seriously read first chapter. I used to always ignore first chapter. I don't know why. I thought the real tattvam was starting from second chapter, the summary of the entire Bhagavad Gita. But you brought in those essence in the very first chapter, the Guru Tattva. I always thought fourth chapter is what I learned, the Guru Tattva. Excellent, Mataji. Brought in the attitude and characters, the Guru Tattvam. Beautiful, just beautiful. If I may ask you a small question, because I really don't know much about all this. One thing you spoke about Dronacharya, the position of Guru, and how he as a Brahmin, like, he imparted teaching and learnings to Drishtadyumna also, who he knew that already that he was supposed to be the, what do you call, subdue him, right? If that was the case, why is it, Mataji, in case of Ekalavya, he rejected the learnings, he rejected teaching him? I mean, this is something I always ponder. Probably I must have heard, but somehow I was not able to get kind of the right answer there. Would you please help me clarify this, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, here for this question, I would request, one of our senior devotees to answer this question. So, Preeti Vilasini Mataji, Sukhakar Prabhu, would you all like to answer this question, please?
Yeah, Dronacharya.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
Because
So
he's a Brahmin, and as you rightly said, yes, learning education is something to be given free, right? That's what we heard from Vedic times. So
yeah.
why in specific case Ekalavya it is not? And the way though he learned on his own, the way the Guru Dakshina was sought for, I don't know, probably I know I'm Agyani there, but still if you can throw some light, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Couple of things I mentioned in the Mahabharata itself. One is that, and even Prabhupada also writes this in multiple places, if I'm not wrong. I can also send the reference later. So, two things. One is, Dronacharya was employed by the Kuru dynasty. Being employed by the Kuru dynasty, he was restricted from teaching warfare to the kids from opposing kingdoms that would oppose the Kuru dynasty. So the only exception that Dronacharya bargained was for his own son, Ashwathama. That was the only bargain allowed at that time. And he was allowed to teach, besides the Kuru dynasty, he was allowed to teach only for his son. So it was a deal that they had made. Now, when Ekalavya came, he couldn't take Ekalavya because which dynasty? I think I don't know whether he was in the Kiratas or the.
Yeah, Kirata. He's an Hunter family.
Right. So he was from the Kirata.
I don't know about the kingdom per se, but he's coming from the Hunter family. Mataji, sorry to say that since you said kingdom, don't you think Drishtadyumna also was from a different kingdom, Panchala kingdom? So how can this, just a thought. Drishtadyumna again is from Panchala kingdom, right, Mataji? Not from the Kuru Vamsha.
Yes, I understand. So basically, he was employed by the Kuru dynasty. He couldn't fight with anyone who would directly oppose the dynasty of the Kurus. So Drishtadyumna at that point in time was still an ally. Okay, reason is because Drishtadyumna and Drishtadyumna's father, they are actually Sambhis, right? Draupadi gets later married to the Kuru Vamsha. So they were initially, they were all together. Okay, in one sense, they were not opposing kingdoms. But the Kiratas, they were, basically certain tribes. They were not allowed to teach to certain tribes who may later pose a threat to the throne of the Kurus. Okay, so that was a deal that they had, and this is there in Mahabharata. Secondly, Prabhupada himself, he clarifies that the way he had learned the archery itself was very wrong. So when the Guru is not directly accepting you face to face, you cannot impose yourself. You cannot go and create a deity or an idol, I would say rather, of a Guru, and then start, forcibly taking the gyan. That doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't work. It is against Shastra to do certain things. So he was doing things not as per the correct way of performing. And the Guru Dakshina taken at that point in time was because he was a threat to the throne. Okay. Secondly, Mahabharata gives another episode which is not discussed much. If you read any of the summary books of Mahabharata, ISKCON books, or any authentic Mahabharata, it will tell you that later Dronacharya himself, after pact was over, he goes and he takes on Ekalavya 1:1, and he teaches him in some remote mountain. I forgot which place. He teaches him art.
Okay.
Yeah, later. Because he felt that he had to complete teaching him, and he didn't do it because um, whatever deal he had with the Kurus. Then later, after war is over, or I don't know when exactly, not the war is over, maybe some point time later, he takes Ekalavya and he teaches him. But Ekalavya is killed by Krishna later, right? If I'm not wrong, in a war with Krishna.
Yes.
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 Yes. He's killed by Krishna later. So just before that, he completes his duty. Acharya. This is not discussed much often, but it is there in the summary book that I have read at least by Purna Prajna Prabhu. And after that, he is killed by Krishna Sudarshan later.
He was killed by Krishna for some reason, Mataji.
Yeah,
Was he
because
against the Pandavas?
No, Krishna himself tells in the Mahabharata, yes, because I wanted to remove certain evil elements out. Ekalavya is not considered a very pious person or something. Even Karna,
Okay.
we have too much.
Yeah, Karna, I understand. Karna, I understand. Okay,
Yeah.
Ekalavya, I was not aware of.
No,
Okay.
no. Krishna he himself says in the Mahabharata that Ekalavya, he mentions 4-5, they all have demoniac mentality, and for your sake, Arjuna, I have killed them before the war. Krishna makes this statement.
Okay. Thanks so much for the Gyan, Mataji. Honestly, it did help me. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank you, Mataji. So, like I was just remembering, like when Priti Mataji said that he made an image of Guru, right? And he started learning. So again, that point is also applicable in our lives also, right? We don't, accept Guru until, there is agreement from both the sides. Otherwise, again, we know it is impersonalism. So that is also there in this point. Thank you so much, Mataji. I knew I won't be able to explain like you. Thank you so much. And again, if we see, I would like to add, like when you spoke about Bhagavad Gita, I will just quickly add first chapter, when it is said observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and why it is important. I missed that point. Good, you reminded me. So for us also, like I was saying that every day it's a war inside us between good and bad, which goes on every day, right? Something will be telling us to do good, and then, something will be holding us down that don't do that. So in that way, good and bad, we also have to be watchful. We also have to observe our armies. We also have to observe our enemies. So that way, again, if we keep observing that where is this bad thought coming from, so then again, it will be revealed in further chapters of Bhagavad Gita that how, senses, intelligence, and mind are the seating places of lust. So we'll not discuss it now, but it is going to come further. So that way we have to be watchful. That's why first chapter is important, because we have to watch. And since Bhagavad Gita is a life manual, it is a medicine for us. Only when a patient agrees that he's sick and he goes and tells the doctor that these are my symptoms, then doctor will do diagnosis and give the prescription accordingly. Until and unless we never agree that we are sick or we are having any symptoms, then doctor also won't be able to help us. So that's why first chapter is important, because it does the diagnosis and it shows us that patient is going to doctor, to tell about his symptoms. So because symptoms are there, prescription medicine is there. No symptoms, no prescription medicine. Diagnosis is important. Yeah. So this was the point, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Mataji, Drishtadumna was going to kill Drona, but still Drona taught him, because he was not worried about his life. He knows the future, and that's why he didn't say no to. He said no to Drishtadumna, but he didn't want this who cut his finger. That's why he didn't teach, because he knew that he was an evil person and he will be a threat to Arjuna. Actually, Arjuna was his closest, and he knows the future Trikaldarshi, the gurus. That's why he said no to him and yes to Drishtadumna, because he knew that Drishtadumna will be the army chief and it will happen.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Vrinda, please go ahead, Mataji. Vrinda Gopakam.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, कोटि कोटि दंडवत प्रणाम। श्रील प्रभुपाद, श्रील गुरुदेव की जय, गोपीनाथ की जय। माता जी, इतना पावर था आपके क्लास में, और दैट वाज प्रैक्टिकल क्लास माता जी। एंड बी ऑनेस्ट, वो माता जी ने बताया इतना सीरियसली फर्स्ट चैप्टर मैंने भी नहीं लिया था. आई ऑल्सो नॉट टेकन माता जी, बट यू एक्सप्लेन वन कैरेक्टर सो नाइसली. प्रैक्टिकल नॉलेज इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट माता जी. डे टू डे लाइफ में हम कैसे उसको अप्लाई करेंगे भागवत गीता को, वो मैसेज आपने दिया. और ऑल द स्लाइड्स माता जी एंड ऑल द Srila Prabhupada and our Guru Paramparas and Mataji touch to art class, like feel that HG Kishori Mataji, HG Janva Mataji, HG Sivani Mataji, HG Preeti Vilasini, HG Kirtidasmari Mataji is taking class. That much potency in your class. ऐसा लगता था कि बस आप सुनते ही जाए और सुनते जाए और सुनते जाए. Please come regular in Bhakti Sangha and give your association and blessing to all Vaishnava. So
Thank you,
much
Mataji.
potency. ये तभी आती है जब हम क्लास सुनते रहते हैं and making notes. That is very important. HG Prabhu told that we have to make the notes what we hear every day. Mataji, thank you Mataji. Koti Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Mataji. You are very kind. Thank you for your loving words. Hare Krishna. So thank you all, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Sorry to interrupt. Is it okay if I can request you to share the PPT in the group, Mataji, Bhakti Sangha group?
Yeah, I
Can
can
I
send it.
request? I mean, if it's okay with you. If it's
Yeah,
okay
yeah,
with
yeah.
you.
I'll be very happy, Mataji. Who's asking? Vanishi
Please.
Mataji. Okay, I'll send Mataji.
Yeah, if you can post it in Bhakti Sangha group, it would be
Mataji,
great, Mataji.
send it to me or Preeti Mataji. We will post in the Bhakti Sangha group.
I will send it on
Okay,
email,
whatever.
Mataji. Huh? Yeah.
Okay. Send
thank
either Preeti
I have
Mataji or me
access.
Mataji.
I have access only in Bhakti Sangha group. I mean, I don't know, or I don't have any contacts, coordinates of any one of you. If it can be posted in the group, I can access from there.
Yes, Mataji, the organizers will post it in the group, Mataji.
Thank you so much again. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all so much.
Mataji, there are a few chats. I'll just read the names of the Matajis. Charuradha Mataji has thanked you for a wonderful class, practical applications. Revati Mataji has thanked you, covered all facts in great detail. Induleka Mataji says, amazing class, so many practical comparisons, love the GPS idea. And Vrinda Gopika Mataji has thanked you. Sukasagri Mataji has, she's added something about the Eklavya with spiritual scientist link. And yes, Parima Mataji also says thank you, and Vanishri Mataji thanks Sukakara Prabhu. Yes, Mataji, with your permission.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. I'm very excited to hear, another 17 chapters also. Another 18 sessions, like Mataji said, 18 chapter divided into two. Thank you all so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So let's pay our obeisances to all the Vaishnavas and yourself. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha.
Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. भक्ति संघ कॉन्फ्रेंस की जय.
HG Mitravinda Mataji ki jai.
Jai ho.
Gauranga.
Nityananda, Gauranga. Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam.
Jai Jai